What's going on, guys? Kid Squid Issue 0. Now, I wasn't actually in the market for this one when I stumbled across it. I was actually after Chad Townsend's other work, Black Phantom, and just happened upon this work and just added it to my order because I thought it looked pretty interesting. It's just like a kid. He's got like tentacles. He's not like at all well built, so it's not like a stereotypical like superhero kind of thing. So it intrigued me a little bit. I'm like, all right, what's this one all about? This is kind of weird. I kind of like weird stuff, so let's check it out. And yeah, I got some issues with it, but overall, I do enjoy it. So we'll get more into it as time goes on. But yeah, just want to get right on into it. So everything looks to be written and the art also done by Chad Townsend. I don't see anybody else credited, so forgive me if I am mistaken there. All right, so our story opens up, and we're just getting think of like the Star Wars opening crawl, where we're getting some filler, and basically there's a scientist that is, I guess, in the School of Wizards, and he accidentally sets some magic on the statue that releases an ancient monster, which is like a Cthulhu monster. And that's basically how our story is going to start. And here we meet our main protagonist, Brian. He's over here. And now Brian's getting bullied while on the bus, and he's not really paying any attention to his bullies because I don't know if my camera's going to pick this up or not, but there's a tentacle that he is focused on. So he's already looking at the Cthulhu monster that's already out there. Now, his best friend, Maddie, she's trying to deal with the bullies and tell them to go fuck themselves and that kind of stuff. And at the moment, nobody over here is paying attention to the happenings on outside of this bus. But that doesn't take long to change. Now, Maddie's possibly like the last person to be noticing the tentacle out there because the bullies start to take a look. And then I would assume by this point Maddie's caught on that something ain't right outside because the bus gets picked up and thrown down. And poor Brian, he gets ejected from the bus and lands flat on his back on the concrete outside. Now, I do have some problems here. Brian and Maddie both are just like, they're A-okay. Now, Brian, his glasses are a little mussed up, but that's about it. He should be feeling a lot of pain right now and possibly be bleeding somewhere, right? Outside of some messed up glasses, he's fine. Maddie, you see all this glass busted in the bus window here? She's not slightly cut. She's not even shaken up by the bus being thrown. Nothing. She immediately goes to check on Brian. So I'm like, that's a little far-fetched that nobody's even slightly hurt from this. And here we got the Cthulhu monster here. And as it approaches, we see these tanks. They shoot off one of the tentacles. The tentacle falls down and kind of creates its own little squid monster being. Said squid monster lands right next to Brian, who, in complete view of Maddie, mind you, crawls up Brian's shirt and attaches itself to its back. So there is our origin on how we got this, right? And yeah, Maddie says nothing on this one, and the only thing Brian really says about the squid attaching himself is, ouch, my back. So, I mean, presumably, yeah, you could also be feeling some back pain from, falling 20 some odd feet onto concrete. We're going to go over to Greece, and we're going to meet a little girl named Patty. Now, Patty is over here with her family, and here's her dad, there's her mom, and they're talking about the story of Pandora and Pandora's box, of course. And it starts to storm, and they're getting ready to head on out, but a voice is reaching out to Patty and says, hey, come over here, there is a gift for you, as the lightning strikes the wall and busts open a hole for Patty to come take the gift. Now, her parents are already at the car, and they're way the fuck out there. as we're about to see. Let's see. Yeah. So here's the car. There's the parents. And here's Patty. How the hell are they out there without realizing Patty did not follow them? Those some pretty neglectful parents, if you ask me. Like, I don't think I would notice my children are not with me by the time I get to a car way out here. Especially if we're trying to walk through a thunderstorm. Like, they're kind of my top priority. But moving on. Patty goes ahead and takes the gift, right? And this is Pandora's box, or jar in this matter. Now, somehow the mom is the first one to reach, even though she's second consistently in all other images that we see. And when she gets over to Patty, we realize Patty has now been possessed by the gift, right? The jar. Pandora's jar has now possessed her. Cut back over to Brian. And we're seeing that there's media coverage of the Cthulhu monster now. But also, we get introduced to Dr. Eric Weiss. And this is the doctor who actually set the monster out in the first place. So he's trying to clean up his mess. So there's at least somebody being held responsible and trying to unfuck the situation that he has created. And he tells the guys to scram that it's not safe. They're like, yeah, no shit. And so they get out of here while Dr. Weiss reads from the Book of the Dead. And you can already imagine which passage. And they do make a little jab, like, seriously, it's this one? And so we get Klaatu, Barada. no, it's Nikto, as we'll see. He doesn't fuck it up like Ash. And so what the wizards did not tell Dr. Weiss is that in order to confine this monster, he's basically going to be forced to consume it with this passage. And so that's what we're seeing here, is the monster now entering the body by way of eating the monster for Dr. Weiss. So, yeah, there he is. Getting some fresh calamari. And so, as you might expect, eating a Cthulhu monster might have some adverse effects, and so we start to see some transformation. And here we're seeing it looks like he has been kind of empowered by this monster. But this is going to be the last we see of Dr. Weiss, and I'm not entirely certain if we're going to be seeing him as a good guy or an evilman. I'm not really certain, and the book doesn't make it clear. This is the absolute last we're going to see of him in this book, so I have no idea what happens from here. And this is kind of one of my issues that I do have with this book is this is just kind of there. Now, the reason I'm thinking maybe he might be a good guy is we see like this quote in the book. It says, sometimes fools get a second chance. And that's kind of what the fool being Dr. Weiss. You know, he was foolish for unleashing the beast to begin with. And so this could be a redemptive arc where he's got hero traits now, where he's going to try and make the world a better place after royally fucking it up by having a lot of people killed by this monster. And as punishment, he has to live with the beast inside of him. We could be doing something like that, or he could be just be full-on possessed by the monster and just unleashing more harm onto the world. I'm not entirely certain, because we're going to see later there's going to be a group of heroes. He's not there, and that's why I'm not sure if he's going to be good or bad from here on. So we're then going to check in with Patty. Now, Mommy's scolding Patty over here, like, hey, you put that jar down, young lady, or you're in big trouble. Patty doesn't take well to this and goes ahead and vaporizes Mom, so rip. Now, Dad over here, he's kind of like grumpy, and is like, no. And I'm like, I would be kind of horrified that my wife is just obliterated in front of my eyes by my daughter. That would freak me out real bad. I wouldn't just be angry, I would be very upset too. And we just get like a firm no. Like, you know, if you're a parent, you're trying to keep your kids from hurting themselves, you might give them a stern no, don't do that. That's not exactly the kind of no I would be expressing if my wife just got obliterated. I would be a bit more sorrowful. And I mean, he's just like, what did you do to mommy? And Patty's like, I had to get rid of her. She was being bossy. Dad realizes, hey, you're not Patty. And it's like, yeah, sure. See, look at me. I'm Patty. But actually, you can call me Pandora, and this is Pup-Pup. Dad's like, no, I ain't gonna call you Pandora. Well, Pandora persuades him otherwise, as we see she uses her dog friend there, Pup-Pup, to go ahead and zap Dad. And Dad's a bit more willing to play ball now. He's like, okay, Pandora. And she's like, wow, now we need to go have some fun. And so, yep, bad guy has been unleashed on the world. Now, Maddie and Brian, we're catching back up with them after they've left Dr. Weiss. They're heading home, and it does not appear that Maddie is at all aware that Brian has tentacles on his back. Says nothing about it. More or less just like, how you feeling, after landing on your back after 20 feet? Maybe we should go to a hospital. I mean, that's not said, but I would certainly think maybe a concussion might be happening. You landed on the back of your head, too. So maybe want to go to the hospital to get checked out after being thrown by a big squid monster. But yeah, they all Brian seems to say is, I'm just feeling a little weird, and Maddie's just like puberty. It's like, ew. Well, anyway, I gotta go. My parents are gonna freak out. Bye. So off she goes, and we see Brian run into the arms of his dad. His dad, I like this bit quite a bit. His dad's very sorry that Brian went through all of that and that he wasn't there to protect Brian from all of this. And, he just embraces his son. And I like this. This is a good moment here. I really like that father-son embrace right there. And then over here, we're getting some inner thoughts where Brian's like, hey, I think with this change, this is my moment to be like a superhero. And, he's a younger guy, and he gets it in his head. Maybe he should have a motto. And so he says, under bluest skies and greenest trees, on any playing ground torn asunder, no bully shall ever win or evade Kid Squid's thunder. And I do believe, I'm not a DC person, or for that matter, a Green Lantern person, but I do think that that's a nod and a wink, paying homage to Green Lantern. I do believe that they have a similar type of ish motto as far as how it comes out. Obviously, these aren't the words, but I think that we're given a little nod over there. And again, Dad does not seem to notice all the fucking tentacles. This is kind of weird now that we have two characters who should have seen it by this point, because, okay, I can understand that Dad's probably got his eyes closed while embracing his son. You mean to tell me you don't feel tentacles slipping out of here? I would be like, that feels different. There shouldn't be anything on my son's back creeping through past my arm. That's a little weird. So, yeah, those are some issues that we have here that nobody seems to understand that he's got tentacles or not making it a thing. So, yeah, that's our final part of this. Now we're into the epilogue where we're realizing that Pandora is unleashing all hell all over the world as we see the green just kind of take over from her evil magic, where we see aliens, bats, and spooky, scary skeletons all coming to invade. All sorts of just creatures coming in, and just all hell's breaking loose. But there's a glimmer of hope, for we have a hero force. And so we have Kid Squid over here. Now, this is Mad Dog. I'm not sure if that's Maddie or not. It's really hard to tell. Hair's a little bit different, but maybe Maddie is a hero of sorts. Maybe not. We got Black Phantom. But I really want to draw focus over here to our Tyrannosaurus Rex. This is a T-Rex in a clown costume, and I need this comic. I really need that. I want to know more on this one, and I'm going to have to do some digging and see if I can't grab a copy or something like that, or if it's even available. But I really want to read that one. That's my kind of weird. We also have like a Scottish werewolf looking thing, and it looks like or several aliens riding some sort of flying saucer thing with blades. So lots of good things going on here, and Dr. Weiss is not back there. That's why I'm not entirely certain whether he is friend or foe at this point, and I would have liked a little bit more clarity as to what happened immediately following that. Now, I'll try to forgive this as much as I can because I really did enjoy myself, but there are some holes that need answers to. First and foremost, why didn't Dad and Maddie noticed the tentacles at all? Like, nobody said a damn thing about it. Everybody's just shaking off a bus being thrown and toppled and, slammed into a ground. Nobody's going to the hospital. These are big issues for me. And so despite my enjoyment of it, I am going to give this book a 6 out of 10 overall, just because there's some definite issues there. However, I enjoyed this far more than I ever thought I would. Like, I thought it was pretty interesting, and I really like the characters that are in it. The villains, like the clear villain at least. That was a pretty good one. The Pandora. I'm very interested in seeing what's going to come out of that jar, and create all sorts of havoc in the world. And I want to know more on Dr. Weiss and what's going on there. There is some humorous bits. Like I said, Dr. Weiss, when he's reading from the Book of the Dead, he's like, really? This is the passage? As he continues on what we know from the Evil Dead franchise. And it's like, yeah, of course, that's the passage. I still enjoy some of the winks and nods that we get to other things. Like I said, I'm pretty certain that one, his motto is like a wink and a nod to Green Lantern, and because he's like a teenage boy, he kind of feels like maybe he needs that kind of stuff. This is all entertaining to me, and obviously, like, Brian is a very unlikely hero. He's not exactly in shape. He's A-shape, not in shape, right? And I'm kind of interested in how that's going to play into things. Like, is he going to really take this superhero role seriously and start getting himself in shape to, help his fellow man? Or is he just going to kind of roll with this and let the powers do its own thing? I'm kind of curious, especially since he seems to have some sort of influence from maybe comics or something like that. But yeah, this one, despite being a 6 out of 10, I would still very much recommend this. I'm just, my ratings are both on a objective and subjective scale, right? So, like, subjectively, I would put this much higher than both of them. So I'm trying to even it out. It's not a perfect grading scale by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just trying to be fair. It's like, yeah, it's got some flaws, but I really enjoy it. So, now, if you want to get yourself a copy, be sure to check the link in the description where you can get a copy for yourself, or at least who to follow for any second chance campaigns that may arise. But that is all I have for today, guys. So until next time, take care and God bless.